helping communities, empowering tomorrow's leaders, and changing lives. Parkside EDC has awarded over $400,000 in college scholarships while sharing economic principles of the Big Five of money with students and their families. Parkside EDC partners with organizations like the Brotherhood Crusade to assure our youth have the financial acumen to succeed. Parkside EDC provides families and businesses with financial insights, offering free online, on-site, and on-air B-Warp presentations. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Programs helps our community acquire, sustain, and pass down legacy wealth. High school seniors can apply for this year's scholarship awards at parksideedc.org. Scholarships will be awarded at Parkside EDC's Gospel/Jazz Brunch on Sunday, April the 27th. For details, tickets, or donations, please visit parksideedc.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome in. Happy Wednesday. You are locked in with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. I hope you're ready to get your entertainment news update, your daily dose of headlines and trending topics with a little extra sauce on the side. You know I keep it sharp, sassy, and smart. So listen, first off, happy birthday to the Queen, Diana Ross. Listen, when we talk about elegance, when we talk about staying power, when we talk about manifestation, when we talk about the glamorous life, when we talk about legacy, because, you know, Tracy Ellis Ross does a couple of things here and there, right? Evan, a few. Chudney, the oldest daughter whose name I know her name, Rhonda. Thank you. Shout out to Rhonda Ross, because Rhonda has a lot going on for herself as well. So we have to give it up to Miss Ross, the boss. And you know, she said respectfully, I am aware that you're cheating me, and something about thee. So before Megan Thee Stallion, Diana Ross was giving you Shakespeare thespian language. Anyway, you guys, welcome in. Thanks for locking in tonight. As always, you know, I hope you got your snacks ready because we have a lot to get into. First up, LeBron James. He's strategic. There is nothing light, nothing accidental, in my opinion, about his appearance on Pat McAfee's show. He got into his feud with Stephen A. Smith, got into his thoughts about a couple of other journalists and Bronny and a couple of other things. So we're going to get into that and look at LeBron's changing sort of media status and how he addresses things in his latter years. And, you know, just take a look at everything that's going on with that. TD Jakes, we know that he went through a medical emergency late last year. He is coming out and speaking about that. Not only about that, he is also talking about some of the things that were circulating around during that same time frame. And he is planning on having a chat with Google about the Deepfake AI imagery that was going around of he and Diddy when, you know, of course, more charges were being levied against Diddy. And you know what the internet was doing what they do. So we're going to get into that. And, you know, kind of as we advance more with AI, what does that look like with media and celebrity and business? And we're also going to talk a little bit about some legal drama with rookie Xavier Worthy. But before we get into all of that, it's Wednesday, not Thursday, but we're getting all up in the business on Wednesday with entrepreneur, strategist Damon Haley. We're going to be talking to him. We're going to get into Juju Watkins' injury, season-ending injury, and what that looks like as far as her business and her NIL deals and things of that nature. We're going to have that conversation. Now, Kendrick Lamar, his Super Bowl halftime show is the most viewed halftime show. But now it's coming out that he got a lot of FCC complaints from that show. They say if folks aren't mad at you, you're not doing it right. So TMZ reported that the halftime show received 125 FCC complaints. Sounds like light work to me. Critics were not feeling his inappropriate lyrics, what they say is raunchy choreography, and the anti-American visuals. Some even accused him of using the moment to slander Drake, calling it a personal vendetta. But let's put it in perspective. Rihanna got 120 complaints in 2024. J-Lo and Shakira racked up 1,300 in 2020. So Kendrick's 125, that's light work. That's light work. Listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into more trending topics and headlines. We're going to get into that TD Jakes, all up in the business and more. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
The revolution will not be televised.
What's up? It is Killer Mike, also known as Michael Render, and I'm encouraging you to listen to more, not less, of Truth Time with Dr. Cornel West and Senator Nina Turner on KBLA Talk 1580.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win. Sometimes we try to fit it all in. Sometimes we don't know what's in store. Sometimes we find what we're looking for. Sometimes we're rolling easy and free. Sometimes 1 and 1 makes 3. So much to love along this ride. That's why Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You are locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So before we get into the business, remember, if at any time you want to join this conversation, 800-920-1580. Hit us up on social media, KBLA 1580. Me personally, I'm at Stiletto Jill. The YouTube chat is already going, so, come join us, chat with us there. So one more topic before we get into the topics. Eddie Murphy is one of the stars that is in number one on the call sheet. I've been talking a lot about that special that is premiering this week on Apple TV. This week. Listen, I'm ahead. March 28th on Apple TV Plus. And there was in it a moment when Eddie Murphy shared some life-changing advice he got from Sidney Poitier. And I think in the moment it was important and thoughtful, but over the course of time, I don't know if it exactly was true and correct. And you're probably wondering, how dare you question the advice of the legendary, iconic Mr. Sidney Poitier? But walk with me. Listen to what it is. So in the documentary, number one on the call sheet, Eddie shared how Sidney Poitier kept him from veering off of his comedic lane early. He said that he was offered the role of Alex Haley in a Malcolm X biopic, but Poitier told him, "You're not Denzel, you're not Morgan, you are a breath of fresh air. Don't F with that." And just like that, Eddie, stayed true to what made him iconic. He was giving him elder energy. But if you saw Dreamgirls, which Beyonce starred in, Jamie Foxx, we know Jennifer Hudson received an Oscar, I believe Eddie Murphy was robbed of the Best Supporting Actor Oscar for that role. He was incredible as Jimmy Early in Dreamgirls. It showed range, it showed depth, and I think that sometimes comedians make the best dramatic actors because they understand life energy. They understand what makes you laugh can also make you cry, and to hit those beats and moments. So it was important because obviously it set Eddie up to be the first comedic rock star and, all of those things. But it's just an interesting footnote to the thing. So there's more gems like that in the special. But before we get into everything, allow me to welcome author, business strategist, co-owner of Glow and Flow Beauty and Slay Hair, Mr. Damon Haley, for All Up in the Business. Welcome, DH. How are you?
Thanks for having me. Love it. I'm good.
Well,
great.
We're going to get into TD Jakes versus Google. So Bishop T.D. Jakes is not here for the tech tomfoolery, right? And we know we are moving closer and closer to more integration of AI in our lives. We know we utilize it with Siri. We utilize it, when we call in customer service, just various things. But the images, the video, the things that AI can create, it's kind of scary. So he revealed in a recent interview that he is filing a lawsuit against Google over a viral deepfake video that he felt misused his image and his voice. And it featured he and Diddy in some inappropriate situations, right? All fake, all AI generated. And he feels as though this shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't be allowed, that we need to take some steps to kind of rein this in before it goes too far. So he's targeting Google. Let's hear what he had to say.
A lot of chatter online last year about TD Jakes and Diddy and a lot of conspiracy theories out there. Yeah. And then your lawyer is now seeking to subpoena Google over AI-generated YouTube videos. Instead of letting that one go, your lawyers are going after these videos. Why?
Because it's become a business. Killing people's character has become a business, and your own network did their own research and proved that the AI-generated images and pictures that went everywhere were AI-generated, that it was false. And even after your network did their research and published it, people still continued it. It's almost like we enjoy being angry. We enjoy whatever is salacious. We're not interested in truth. Swoops did something on it. Other people did. TMZ came out, said lies. Didn't matter what anybody said, including me.
So, I mean, there's a lot of truth to that. It's kind of scary. We saw, I mean, LeBron came out, and obviously we're going to talk about it. His real interview discussing the Stephen A. Smith situation, but there was an AI video of that out. We're in a very different time where tech can be slippery. We just heard about, war plans being accidentally slipped into a group chat. So there's a lot happening with technology. And I do think that there are some guardrails that need to be put in place as we move forward, because we really don't know what can become of these things. And the trained eye can't really tell the difference, And there has to be, I feel like, something that they include in that, which, for some might defeat the purpose. But it's really scary times we're living in. Al Roker also spoke about he was targeted not as they came after him, but utilized in a scam for Social Security or some type of medicine, heart disease medicine or high blood pressure medication, where they used his image and voice to market this medication. And people supposedly were signing up based off of him saying, this AI fake, I took this medication and it worked for me. So he got the video taken down, but these are all the type of things that can come to pass because of this type of technology. So, Damon, what are your thoughts on that?
I immediately see it as an authentication opportunity. I was thinking to myself, dang, what kind of technology can I deliver or develop that can authenticate it? Because they eventually can tell if it's AI or not. So that's the first thing. So if you're a tech person out there, there's an opportunity. Secondly, it's just like having music licensed and you pull down music and things like that. That's what's going to have to start happening. They're going to, just like they do music and publishing, every image and likeness and all that will eventually be publishable, where you're going to have permission to use it. Like I can rip down any video of anybody right now on Google or any image. It's going to be where I have to pay for a specific image, and I'm going to pay more for, say, Michael Jackson's real image versus something that's created. So that's where things are going, and I think he's right. I think he should say, hey, I was heard. He's a man of the cloth. He has a voice, and it will definitely trigger some rules, regulations, government stuff, rights of privacy and all of that. So I liked that he came out. I shared with you during the break, my wife has a personal relationship with the family. I remember when it came out and I had to kind of ask her, and she was like, not true. All that stuff isn't true. But some of the stuff was good. It looked authentic.
Really authentic. It did.
I mean, I was looking at some stuff yesterday, and we'll talk about Stephen A. and LeBron, but Bronny, after his game last night, voicing some stuff to Stephen A. And I knew I had to look and say, oh, the words don't match the lips.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, it's a fake. But it sounded like him, And I have advertisement where you can, I could just speak into something, get my image, and they can create a whole avatar on who I am. So the authentication piece is going to be big. And then the security around it, but that publishing and responsibility, that's where it's going.
Big facts. So the chat, they're going in. Morris Phillips says, preach, Rev. Coco MCB says, I agree with him. It's long overdue for some type of regulations to be in place regarding AI. It's not right for people to be able to use the image of someone else in their video for an ad for profit. Urban Spinster says, this is about Sidney Poitier. You have to question Mr. Poitier's judgment, having a whole mistress in Diane Carroll, who he shaded and left out in the cold after they were supposed to move in together. Those are real life facts. That did happen. Yeah. So, and we all make mistakes. We listen, we don't judge. We listen, we don't judge. Joking. Morris Phillips also says, he's talking to Urban about the married man thing. We'll let them cook because, as we told you, the YouTube chat does that. Coco MCB says, or any other use for profit without the person's consent. So it definitely is going to be something that continues to come up as we see further and further. You know, there was conversation about Drake using Tupac's voice and Snoop's voice in music. So we're going to have these conversations around multiple things, multiple areas, and we'll see where it lands, where it comes down to. Because the thing that's also scary is you think about those people that receive those calls from their scam calls from a loved one saying that they've been kidnapped or in a car accident, and people rush out or rush to give money. I mean, there's all types of things that can come out of this. Andy?
I remember when, I forgot who performed, but remember when the Tupac hologram came out?
Yep, at Coachella.
Who was that performing?
It was Tupac.
I mean, I know it was Tupac, but like,
whose show was it a part of?
Whose show was it?
I feel like it was a Tupac hologram special performance at Coachella. I don't think that it was anybody that was like, I'm going to bring Pac into my show.
I just find it interesting because I do remember at that time, and you know, I could be all the way wrong, but I felt like that moment was kind of celebrated. Although for some people it was kind of spooky, it wasn't like disrespectful, right? Like, you know how Drake can use his voice or whatnot?
I think one of the things with that is that it was one moment, right? It felt like it was, you know, a special event. Like, I think maybe last night or tonight is the 40-something anniversary of Michael Jackson performing Motown 25, Billie Jean, right? That was one of those moments you had to be there to see it. Wasn't no repeat. Our VCRs, we may or may not have had them at that time. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like with the Coachella thing, that's what that moment was supposed to be. They're not like, and now we're going to take Tupac on tour. So I think in certain instances where people feel like it's a moment or it's enhanced, and even some people feel in those moments it's, you know, not the proper thing to do. But I think it's more accepted like that, you know, rather than, oh, I'm going to put it in the mix every day, all the way. But we'll have to see. November 23rd, 2024 is when he collapsed on stage, TD Jakes, that is. No symptoms, no warning. Doctors said he was minutes away from death in this. He revealed this in the same interview. And he said his right side wasn't receiving any blood, but by grace and adrenaline, he survived. And he said instead of slowing down, his plan is to go faster now. He said, they had to claw the mic out of my hand, but I was in this serene, cloud-like space. I think it was amazing. So, you know, shout out to him for recovering from that and pushing through. And shout out to him for taking on Google, because you got to have coins to do that. Andy?
I hope my brother decides to change his diet.
Indeed.
That means a lot.
Indeed. So let's get into this LeBron story, because King James was clapping. King James was being strategic. He went and sat down for an hour-long interview on the Pat McAfee show. Sidebar, Pat McAfee and Stephen A. are a little bristly. Wouldn't exactly call them friends, co-workers perhaps, but, you know, there's a little bit of tension there. And so I think, one, choosing to go on that was strategic. Two, I think that it is important to note that he chose to go to we know the Pat McAfee show is streamed on ESPN, but he chose to go to a YouTuber for all intents and purposes. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. I mean that to point out how the shift in media power is changing, right? And it's just like, you know, I talked about Kevin Hart and Will Smith. They're not doing as much traditional media. They're going to the streamers and the podcasters. Will Smith has an interview coming out on Friday with Wallow and Gilly, you know, $1 million worth of game for his new album release. So, Andy?
To your point, that's what a lot of people say why Donald Trump kind of won when he went on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah. It brings in, you know, a different audience. We're in a different time. So, I think we have time to play the clip, and then we'll go to break, and then we'll get into the details of it. But let's listen to what LeBron had to say about Stephen A. Smith.
Yep. Which leads, obviously, to you and Stephen A. Hey, legit, that feels like a moment that had been brewing for a long time.
He's like on a Taylor Swift tour run right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're watching it. Yep. We're all seeing it.
Oh, yeah.
You're seeing it as well.
He literally, it started off with, I didn't want to address it. Yeah, sure.
I didn't want to address it. I wasn't going to address it, but since the video came out, I feel the need to address it.
You would be not to talk about it.
Are you kidding me? If there's one person that couldn't wait to the video to drop so you could address it, it's your ass. Like, seriously, and like another, he completely like missed the whole point. The whole point. Never would I ever not allow people to talk about the sport, criticize players about what they do on the court. That is your job, to criticize or to, be in a position where, okay, if a guy's not performing, that is all part of the game. That's all part of the game. But when you take it and you get personal with it, it's my job to not only protect my damn household, but protect the players. And I think a lot of the media, including him, and I know he's gonna be happy as hell. He's gonna be smiling from ear to ear when he hears me talking about him again. Oh my God, he's gonna get home and grab some ice cream out of the freezer and sit in his chair and his tighty whities on the couch.
I hope at some point you two do get a chance. But you're right.
Dude, relax, bro. Relax. Seriously.
So there was a lot there, and we're going to get into it. But just the fact that LeBron threw jabs about Stephen A. sitting on his couch with ice cream, getting excited over the fact that LeBron has Stephen A.'s name in his mouth with ice cream, no doubt, says that this is a different type of flow. This is a different type of Bron. This is a different type of fight. So we're going to get into all the details on that when we come forward. You are locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Boy, you turn me inside out and round and round, upside down. Boy, you turn me inside out and round.
You're in the know with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. Black Maryland Governor Wes Moore and Black Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott held a wreath-laying ceremony to honor 6 workers killed in the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse 1 year ago. The federal government is funding the bridge reconstruction, which is already underway. A Tennessee State House debate over a proposed gun law got heated when Black Democratic Rep Justin Pearson lunged at Republican Rep Andrew Farmer. Pearson, whose brother died by firearm suicide, reacted strongly to a comment from Farmer during the hearing. Vice President J.D. Vance is accusing Greater Springfield, Massachusetts NAACP leader Bishop Talbert Swan of defamation over a video about Elon Musk. Swan says he'll take it down if Vance apologizes to the Haitian community. And Virginia Tech's Board of Visitors voted to eliminate DEI programs that do not align with a federal mandate. The Office for Inclusive Strategy and Excellence will close with other programs under evaluation. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
In downtown Los Angeles on the 110 northbound before 8th Street, crash blocking the 2 middle lanes as traffic stopped from Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. It's a motorcycle wreck. In Hawthorne on the 405 southbound past El Segundo Boulevard, disabled vehicle that was in the middle lane, slow from Santa Monica Boulevard because of that. In Hacienda Heights on the 60 freeway eastbound before Hacienda Boulevard, crash in the 2 right lanes. That's slowing you from the 710.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Ice Cube is adding a Los Angeles franchise to his new look Big 3 basketball league. The team will be called the LA Riot. The coach will be former NBA player Nick Young. Ice Cube will have 8 teams in his Big 3 league. All 8 will represent cities with NBA teams: Boston, Chicago, Dallas, Detroit, Houston, Miami, Washington, D.C., and the LA Riot. The half-court 3-on-3 competition will have a 2-month schedule this summer, beginning June 14th. This will be the 8th season for Ice Cube's Big 3. LeBron is bringing back his Mind the Game podcast with a new co-host, 2-time NBA MVP Steve Nash. The 51-year-old Nash is replacing Lakers coach J.J. Redick. LeBron and Redick started Mind the Game in 2023. The podcast had an average of 1.5 million views per episode. LeBron and Nash will make their debut on Tuesday, April 1st. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, this is Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, and for over 20 years, Parkside Economic Development Corporation has served Leimert Park and surrounding communities, empowering tomorrow's leaders and changing lives. Parkside EDC has awarded over $400,000 in college scholarships while sharing economic principles of the Big Five of money with students and their families. Parkside EDC partners with organizations like the Brotherhood Crusade to assure our youth have the financial acumen to succeed. Parkside EDC provides families and businesses with financial insights, offering free online, on-site, and on-air B-Warp presentations. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Programs helps our community acquire, sustain, and pass down legacy wealth. High school seniors can apply for this year's scholarship awards at parksideedc.org. Scholarships will be awarded at Parkside EDC's Gospel/Jazz Brunch on Sunday, April the 27th. For details, tickets, or donations, please visit parksideedc.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach, transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal, prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You were locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. This entertainment news update. Shout out to Andy for that quick reminder that Michael Jackson did that thing on the Motown 25 special. If you haven't seen it for some reason, I'm sure you have. Not, go look it up on YouTube. Incredible. All right, let's get into another child phenom. LeBron James. So he had a lot to say. There's a lot in that clip. Mr. Haley, let's hear your perspective before I give mine.
Oh, okay. So one, as you know, I know Mr. James when he was a young teenager all the way till I think very closely until he went to Miami and won the championships. I was in Akron, Cleveland, all of that. And I will say this, that isn't said enough about him. Like him, love him. hate him, and every place in between. He's a nice guy. He is
true.
a nice guy. And so when you attack his baby boy, you're going to get not so much of a nice guy. And I think that him going on the Pat McAfee show was a statement to Stephen A.
Very much so.
And he spoke pretty freely. I think he spoke his mind in terms of really thinking that Stephen A. Got LeBron on his head, got him on his mind. And I think that I would have probably handled it a little differently, not as publicly. That would have been the nicer thing to do. But the whole Stephen A. model of news and this whole debate news that we're going, that's what it's about. It's about tic-tac. I don't know if it's
TikTok.
No.
Tick for tat.
Yeah, tit for tat. Yeah,
Okay.
It's more tit for tat. And so he got him. He got Stephen A. I don't think that Stephen A. can get LeBron. He can be on the air as much as he wants, but I don't think he can get LeBron better than LeBron can get him.
So in this interview, I watched most of it, not all of it. I have to say this is honestly my first. I've seen clips, but I've never watched Pat McAfee's show before. It's a very interesting conversation. Pat McAfee dropped something asking about, he said something to LeBron. They were talking about shooters or something. And Pat McAfee was like, the whites? And I was like, what? Did he say that? He said that. So it was interesting in some of the cases where he was leading LeBron and LeBron allowed him, took it and was, kind of like, you're saying it, I don't have to. But I've never seen LeBron quite that free in an interview. He seemed really, really comfortable to me. He was really kind of letting it all hang out. He talked about Brian Windhorst as well. He said that guy was weird, trying to act like we were ever friends.
Knowing the Cleveland scenario, I was surprised that he said that. There was some relationship there, I know, because he covered the Cavs, and I knew the GM of the Cavs and all of that. So I was surprised that he said that. But that's where he is now.
Right.
Now, 40 years old, that's for this. Everything is where he is now. But I was very surprised at that.
He said what he said is, I seen Brian Windhorst on one of those shows not too long ago. This guy says he's like my effing best friend. These guys are just weird. He went on his show and said, don't let LeBron fool you. He wears number 23 because of Michael Jordan. Okay, that's a fact. He signed with Nike because of Michael Jordan. And LeBron said, no. I didn't. I signed with Nike because I got a hell of a signing bonus and they gave me 7-year, $90 million contract. Now, we were both there when this happened. There was a lot of back and forth, but to me, the 23, obviously, but I didn't feel like, and maybe I was naive, he was coming to Nike because that's where Jordan was. I felt like that was the best thing. If you look at where the sneaker market was at that time.
Yeah, the reporters take a lot of liberties, and I've seen it. Reporters take a lot of liberties in terms of how they have to do that to say that's my friend or I can get to him versus someone else and all that. And I can see Brian coming out of Cleveland. He was a beat reporter at Cleveland with the Cavs, and in Cleveland, that's how he was able to elevate to ESPN.
Would you compare Brian and Bron to Stephen A. and AI?
Similar, yes, okay. Yes. So Stephen A. started in Philly, so you're the brother in the back of the room. You might get a little bit that was Stephen A. But with Brian, he was there. I was there. He was there. Now, like I said, I'm pretty sure that now that LeBron has grown, it's not as tight. So him saying that they're not friends, that's probably true. Now, I do know for a fact that it was either Adidas and Sonny Vaccaro or it was Nike. Nike presented the better deal. That had nothing to do with Jordan because by then the Jordan brand had already emerged in like 98, if you will.
Right.
So
they had already started signing players,
yeah.
But then it wasn't at a time when they were giving players their own shoe. They were just expanding to have players officially Team Jordan at
right,
that time.
Right. So him. No, he. That's wrong to say he would have went to Nike. I know that for a fact. He was not going to Nike Inc. because of Jordan. He went to Nike Inc. Lynn Merritt was his guy. All that kind of stuff. He had that Nike basketball relationship, and they paid him. Like I said, the 7 years. That's a lot.
That was, that
7 years.
That was
an
industry busting deal at that time. We hadn't seen anything like that.
Yeah. Now he loved Jordan because I was one of his watchers at the Jordan camp in Santa Barbara every summer. People know about. So everybody loved Jordan, and they wanted to be 23. It's a ton of 23s around the NBA.
Right.
They should have retired the 23 number, by the way, but still, that's kind of where that came from.
Well, I think the appearance, obviously strategic, but he got a lot of things off in this conversation. He talked about being the face of the league and how he's handled everything, the social media era, which obviously that's one of the big differences from LeBron and Jordan is that even being the center, Jordan never had to worry that if he was out at a casino, right, having a bad night with a cigar and a drink, somebody with a cell phone camera was going to be recording the whole thing.
Right.
He never had to worry about that. So that's a different type of pressure. You have to worry about not slipping up. But I feel like it's different in the way that it played out. Not better or worse per se, but just different type of obstacles and challenges. Andy?
All I know is this. When LeBron James finally retires, and if Bronny James is still in the league, Bronny is going to have to open his mouth and speak for himself. I'll leave it at that.
He is.
Yeah, I will say the only thing about that whole Stephen A. LeBron discussion is that Bronny should have been like right there. I would have loved to have seen him like right up, like they were going to bum rush him. But I don't advocate violence.
Right.
But the look as if to say, you say one more thing about me, and that,
And that for me, and I'll say this, and then we're gonna, take a pause. I feel like you say that you are protecting a teammate. I have never seen you protect a teammate in that manner. I've never seen you defend a teammate before in that manner. And I'm not saying you shouldn't defend your son. And I definitely understand what his son went through and being there as a father for him. But if you couldn't separate that, why put him in that position? Why put that target on him? He talked about being in a surreal space on opening night when they were playing together and, the Griffies being there and all of these things. I think it was you that pointed out, LeBron, you know what it's like to go through this and the pressure. Why haven't you said Bronny, or at least allow him to feel his way? He but he rarely speaks. He's rarely given insight or input into this. These are things that a rookie in the NBA should be doing, and no one should be shielding them from that aspect.
Yeah, I would say in 2003, because I was part of those conversations, LeBron did have a lot of coaching. He did have a lot of brand building. He had a great high school coach, and I will say, Mav, Rich, Randy were around him. He had some great high school teammates, Drew, Rome, Willie, and Shion. He had a lot of people. I don't know if Bronny has that same infrastructure that LeBron had, and he has the possibility of it because he should be, I would think, from a brand building standpoint, marketing, et cetera, I would have loved to have him have a brand and have a voice outside of a great dad.
I feel that. Listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into more of this topic, more trending topics and headlines, and we're going to talk Juju Watkins and her injury and what that might mean for her business opportunities on the horizon. All that and more on the other side. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Eyes Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad Pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. If you need help getting your resume in order, finding job training, or landing a job, we've got 3 great options for you. First, the City of Los Angeles has WorkSource centers across the area offering free job support. The California Workforce Development Board can help you with everything from GED prep to vocational training at no cost to you. On the federal level, the Department of Labor's American Job Centers offer a full range of services for job seekers and businesses alike. Visit careeronestop.org, or for more info, just call California's Help Center or visit cwdb.ca.gov or call 916-657-1440. For the City of Los Angeles programs, go to ewdd.lacity.gov or call 213-744-7300. All these services are free to help you get your next job. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You are locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So, usually we have All Up in the Business on Thursdays, but we're switching it up. And All Up in the Business featuring Damon Haley, strategist, entrepreneur, author, all the good things. We've been talking to him all night. Will now be on Wednesdays. So we wanted to get into all our hearts were broken, as much as Southern California, probably across the nation, when Juju Watkins went down with an injury Monday night, tore ACL. She is out for the tournament for a while. We know that she has had a monster year. She's been doing it since her freshman year. And her name was climbing as far as brand recognition, NIL deals, all of those things. So what happens now with an injury like this in a women's sports environment where keeping top of mind has sort of proven to be very fruitful for these athletes?
Well, my heart does go out to her. You don't want to see anyone injured, and then particularly her with her meteoric rise of USC being a number 1 seed, UCLA, and she was revving up on her money making opportunities, Gatorade, Nike, a couple others. You just start seeing it because now
the Peacock docuseries,
all of that stuff really has to do with March Madness. And so I'm pretty sure that those brands that were behind her were looking for her to at least make it to the Final Four, because the eyeballs get more concentrated from 64 teams to 32 to 16, etc., and the commercials hit a little harder.
Facts.
And so when you think about everything you can do from a media standpoint, when she's scoring 30 and USC is winning by double digits, that's the perfect win. I mean, you look at we go with Magic. Magic was in 9 finals. Jordan was in 6. LeBron was in 10. That's when that's when all eyes are on the game. So and you go back to Caitlin versus Angel Reese, or Caitlin and Angel Reese and South Carolina. All of that stuff had to do with the end of March. And so Juju won't have that. So there's some dollars that are going to be lost based on availability. Not her capability as a player, but her availability to give us highlights, to give us wins.
So the W, you have to do 3 years of college, right, before you can step in there. Mm-hmm. So she has one more season. We hope that she'll be ready to come back. Do you think that it is important to have a rival in this environment?
Oh, yeah. Every hero needs an enemy. So that's what made the Caitlin Angel Reese and Caitlin South Carolina so dynamic. You have to have emotional content, either love or hate. Love it when you have both. Do you think Juju has built that up with a team or anyone like that? Her best rivalry was really locally here with UCLA, but she does not have a rival. She doesn't. She doesn't have anyone to slay, so to speak. And
Shout
so
out to Slay here.
There you go. So, she doesn't have anyone with slay with one Y, right? She doesn't have anyone to slay. But that's where the story building happens. That's where the branding happens, because one would have been created.
So let me ask you, under these circumstances, right, injured, out for the season, healthy environment for women's sports, what would you do with Juju right now while she is rehabbing and all of those things? How would you position her? Would you ever shut down? Like, how would you keep her in the mix?
If she's capable, I would have her part of a broadcast crew
for college sports.
Yep.
During this run,
she should be at the Final Four still. She would be there as a player. She should be there as an analyst. So as much as you can allow, and this would be unprecedented to have that, because I get it. You're a coach, you're USC, you have to manage the idea of student athlete, right? And equity and being equal and all that. No, I'm going to be at those games. I'm going to still go and mess with Kenny and Charles and TNT and whoever's doing those games. I don't know if they're doing the ladies' side, but I'm going to be part of the broadcast, because I can still break down a player, break down a game plan, all the stuff she knows. Now she just needs to use neck up, not neck down. So I would put her in that play, because now the commercials mean something. I will go heavy on social media, on commentary. I would still be as active if she's really trying to do, because now it's no more highlights. Now you got to build a brand.
Okay.
Now you got to, like I said, the voice. What does she sound like? Is she intelligent? Is she
What about
fun?
this
Is she
summer?
witty?
So let's say she's not ready. What would you do with her this summer?
Oh, she's not going to be ready.
Right, but I'm saying, so this summer, as far as keeping her in the mix?
I would have her still active, because, she might not wear a long dress, because I might not want you in heels, right? But you're still at the ESPYs. You're still somewhere. I don't want to really show you. It's kind of taboo to show the road to recovery, kind of thing. But you still be at all the places and be seen over the summer. I just can't see you competing. That's it. So you are a fresh, retired player. What do they do when they ain't playing no more? They're out, they're active, and still let me know who you are. Just set me up for next year, because you're young. That ACL going to bounce back. You still going to be a great player. Show me who you are now.
All right. Well, that's insight. We appreciate it. All up in the business. Now, one more topic before we get out of here tonight. Xavier Worthy. He has sued his ex-fiancée, Tia Jones. Xavier is a wide receiver with the Kansas City Chiefs. He's 21, and he is suing Tia for $1 million because, according to documents filed in the court, he says that Jones physically assaulted him, destroyed over $150,000 in property, stole $30,000 in cash, jewelry, and the keys to his Rolls Royce while he was in jail. All this comes after she filed domestic abuse claims against him earlier in the month, which the DA declined to prosecute for. The two were engaged last July, had just moved into a $2 million home together, and Worthy claims he asked her to move out after hiring a PI who uncovered she was cheating. That's when the drama escalated, and he is alleging that she falsely accused him of attacking her and that she was actually the aggressor. Now, we know in this position, right, if what he is saying is true, what this could do to his career, his reputation, or endorsements. I spoke last night about Tiny and T.I., who lost their Family Hustle show on VH1 because of a defamation suit that was filed against them that has since been dismissed. We see it over and over again as more entertainers, athletes, or whatever are striking back. In 30 seconds, 60 seconds, what do you do to protect the brand when so many people are coming at them still, and we're in a heightened area with social media?
You have to deny it. You have to have people come to your rescue, so to speak, to say he's not like that. I mean, I saw it all when I saw Jonathan Majors running, and he still is not a Marvel character. So I don't know what you can do, but you gotta have other people come to your defense. You know, hopefully he had some cameras around there to show it, but that's all you can really do is just beg for people to believe your side of the story.
So listen, same thing happened with Stephon Diggs and a girl named Mulan who was on Basketball Wives Orlando. The twist is happening. You guys better be out here protecting yourselves and get lawyered up or legal protection. Check out Damon Haley on social media. Damon Haley. Go check out Glow and Flow Beauty, Slay Hair. Thank you for rocking with us. Make sure that you are here every Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. for all your trending topics and headlines. You know I'm your front row seat to the culture. I will check you out tomorrow. Thanks for tapping in.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. Black Maryland Governor Wes Moore and Black Mayor Brandon Scott are honoring 6 workers killed in the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse a year ago with a wreath-laying ceremony.